Hello and welcome to this new section on monitoring key performance indicators and the first lecture of that in this course, Mastering Revenue Cycle Management. So in this section, we'll help you get an in-depth view of how to monitor key performance indicators, the KPIs, to help you implement RCM excellence in your organizations. And there are three things that we will tell you later on. But the first thing is to start tracking the core matrices. So, how to track is the topic of this lecture. So, how do you think you can monitor key performance indicators? Any thoughts? So, there are three things you need to do as we had started telling you to monitor key performance indicator. The first is to track the core metrics, where you need to continuously monitor critical KPIs. What are the critical KPIs? AR days, first pass resolution rate, cost to collect, and denial rate. And then use this data to identify problem areas and assess the effectiveness of your RCM process. So, tracking the core metrics is the first thing. Then you need to set real time dashboards. Implement dashboards that allow your stakeholders across the organizations to view real time data on the RCM performance. And this visibility will ensure quick responses to the issues and will foster accountability. And the last thing to monitor KPI is to obviously continuous improvements, regularly review your KPIs against benchmarks, and use data to identify areas for continuous improvement. Encourage staff to participate in process improvements and adopt a culture of excellence. So these are the three things. So let's take a look at the first, tracking core KPIs. So how would you continuously monitor critical KPIs and use this data to identify problem areas and assess the effectiveness of your RCM process? Any thoughts? So continuously monitoring this, obviously, there are certain KPIs that you need to monitor, right? And before we take a look at the approach, let's kind of uh, uh, align on what are the KPIs we are talking about. So continuously monitoring the critical KPIs are first is accounts receivables, AR, days of accounts receivable. Second is the first pass resolution rate. You must be familiar by that now. Cost to collect and the denial rate. Now these are important for an effective RCM process. Now, what are the various steps that you can take to consistently track and manage these key KPIs? Let's take a look at that. So first is obviously to clearly define the KPI metrics and set benchmark goals, right? So establish KPI definitions, ensure that everyone, the RCM teams understand these definitions. Like for AR days, it is the average number of days it takes to collect payment after the claim is submitted. Second would be first pass resolution rate for sake of confirmation. This means the percentage of claims that get paid on the first submission. Cost to collect is a cost associated with collecting payments as a percentage of the total collected revenue, right? And the denial rates is the percentage of claims that are initially denied by the payers. So define in your own way, like we have illustrated to you, the clear KPI matrices, and then go about setting the benchmark goals. Then the second thing is to implement a real-time analytics dashboard. And there you could do a couple of things. One is to invest in RCM software that includes a robust analytics module and integrates with third-party analytics tools, enabling a real-time tracking of the KPIs. The second thing would be to set up a customized dashboards for each KPI so that managers can monitor key metrics at a glance. You need to ensure that the dashboards are user friendly, displaying KPIs with visuals and like graphs, trend lines, and color coded indicators, and allow different team members like billing staff, financial counselors, and leadership to access the dashboard based on their roles. This will ensure that the relevant staff have immediate insights into the KPIs they impact. So implement a real-time analytics dashboard like this. Then automate the KPI reportings and alerts. So Schedule automated reports, configure daily, weekly, and monthly reports, automated reports for each KPI, so that the stakeholders receive update without needing to run them manually. And second is to set up real-time alerts, alerts to trigger when the KPI moves outside a desired range, such AR days exceeding a set threshold or denial rate spike. Alerts will enable swift intervention when issues arise. And third would be to track the historical data trends to identify any patterns or seasonal variations that could impact KPIs such as high denial rates for specific procedures or payer types. So automate KPI reportings and alerts like that. Then establish a regular review schedule, and this could include a daily or weekly check-in where you have a RCM team review their KPIs on a daily or weekly basis to catch any issues early. Focus on critical matrices like first pass resolution rate and denial rates that may require immediate attention. Also, then you could look at monthly or quarterly reviews, conduct in-depth KPI reviews on the monthly and quarterly basis, including AR days, cost to collect to assess longer term trends and evaluate the effectiveness of the RCM strategies. And lastly, cross-departmental review meetings in which you include shareholders from clinical, administrative, and financial departments to get a holistic view of the revenue cycle performance and identify any cross-functional issues. So establish such regular review schedule. Use the data-driven root cause analysis for KPI variances, very focused. So you look at KPI variances, you want to do root cause and use data for that. For that, you could do three things. When KPI deviates from its target, that is the variances. Perform root cause analysis to identify the reasons. For instance, if the denial rates increase, analyze the common reasons for denials like coding errors, missing documentation, etc. Pay special attention to reducing issues that impact KPIs, such as claims repeatedly denied for the same reason, which could indicate a training gap or a need in process improvement. Involve relevant departments like coding and billing to understand root causes and implement changes to address the recurring issues. So, like this, you can use data driven root cause analysis for KPI variances. Regularly update benchmark comparisons in which you need to ensure that the KPI benchmarks are updated at least annually to reflect industry changes. Compare your KPIs to industry average or peer organization to gauge your performance. And then if your KPIs are below industry benchmarks, set realistic incremental improvement goals. Say, for example, if your AR days are above average, aim to reduce them by 10 or 20% over a specified period. So benchmark against industries and set incremental improvement goals like that. Implement predictive analytics for early interventions. Use predictive models where you apply predictive analytics to forecast trends such as expected AR days or likely denial rates based on the historical data. And this will allow your team to proactively address potential issues before they impact the KPI. Also, identify high risk claims by using predictive tools that can flag claims at high risk or denial, and that can enable your staff to double check these claims before submission to improve the first pass resolution rates. Then use KPI models, identify bottlenecks, use KPI data to identify workflows bottlenecks that contribute to increased, uh, you know, AR days or higher denial rates. For example, a delay in coding could increase AR days if the claims are not submitted on time. Also, streamline workflows for faster claim processing, such as automated enabling uh, of eligibility verification or pre-authorization checks. This can improve first pass resolution rates and reduce denial. So monitor and optimize the workflow efficiency by using KPI data. Provide ongoing training and improvement. Train staff based on KPI performance. Use KPIs to identify areas where staff may need additional training, such as coding accuracy etc. Conduct regular performance reviews based on KPI targets and provide feedback to employees in the revenue cycle task, and empower staff to monitor and improve their impact on KPI. For example, billing staff can be encouraged to reduce AR days by working closely on follow ups for outstanding patients. So, provide ongoing training and development. Engage stakeholders with regular KPI reporting, right? There you could do a couple of things. Share high-level KPI summaries with leadership and key stakeholders each month. Highlight trends, areas of improvement, and corrective actions taken. Use KPIs to drive strategic decisions in RCM, such as investing in additional automation, reallocating resources to high-impact areas, or adjusting policies that affect claim processing. And lastly, would be to make KPI performance visible to all RCM staff, fostering a sense of ownership and accountability for revenue cycle outcomes. So, like this, you need to engage stakeholders with regular KPI reporting. Lastly, adjust strategies based on KPI performance. Uh, Use KPI data to identify and implement process improvement continuously. For instance, if the denial rate is higher, consider refining the pre authorization and eligibility verification process. Then make responsive policy changes. If the AR days still remain high, assess policies around follow ups, patient billing, and payment plans to improve collection frequency. And test new initiatives, pilot programs such as automated denial management, and monitor the impact on KPIs before a full rollout. So, what do we do next? So, after having looked at how to track core matrices, we will now look at how to set up real time dashboards that we talked in this lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on monitoring KPIs, key performance indicators in this course, Master in Revenue Cycle Management. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.